And it looks like we are live. If you are a financial advisor or life insurance agent and you're curious about how to optimize your LinkedIn profile for sales or appointments, then you're going to want to stick around for this week's episode of the Digital Advisor Weekly.
Welcome to the Digital Advisor Weekly broadcast. Looking to boost your business with the latest trends, innovative tech, and must-have resources? Join us to discover how to successfully scale your practice and automate the process. Here to guide you is your host, the dynamic leader of Advisor Marketing Hub and managing partner at American Financial, Rob Souza.
Welcome, everybody, and thank you for joining us for this week's episode. Encouraging you to, this is live, and then we're trying to get in answers to questions for advisors and also for our virtual assistants who we use to help our financial advisors so they can focus on their business. So give us a shout out at what platform you're on and what city the financial, either you as a financial advisor are working within the US, or if you're a virtual assistant, what city is your client or financial advisor working in the United States? Of course, we will be answering questions as well as we go throughout, but let's jump right in. All right, so the first step in optimizing a LinkedIn profile is that you have to define three very important elements of your page. One, you got to define your target market, your target audience. Who are you trying to appeal to? Because the messaging has to appeal and interest the target market. So it's important to do demographic, geographic studies. What are their personality tendencies? What things, and you can search all of this by just going to ChatGPT. And by the way, I'm going to have at the end of this video the opportunity to get all of the custom prompts that I've created to help you optimize every part of your LinkedIn profile, but also help do some research in ChatGPT. You literally can ask ChatGPT, give me all the demographic studies on this particular target market, and it will give you all of the information that it can find on the web, and that'll help you define that target market. You also want to ask how big that target market is, and maybe how big that target market is on LinkedIn. And you can get all of those answers. The more you niche it down, the easier it is going to be to connect with the right audience. Okay. So next would be to define your unique sales proposition. So you know your market. Maybe your market is, let's say, police officers. And if that's the case, well, then what solution or unique sales proposition are you presenting on your LinkedIn page that is going to interest that particular niche audience? Is it teachers? Is it medical professionals? Whatever it is, you've got to define that market and create a unique, that's the most important word, solution. Because if it's, I offer financial planning, or I offer retirement planning, that's not unique. You got to come up with something unique. Even if it is retirement planning or financial planning services, it needs to be something unique that they think they cannot get anywhere else. Okay. And then third, what's your goal? Are you trying to get them to watch something? Are you trying to get them to schedule an appointment with you? Take an online course? Whatever the goal is, just make sure that you understand those three elements. Again, define your target market, define your unique sales proposition, and what's the goal that you're trying to accomplish with your profile. Okay, so let's jump right in. And before I do that, I'm going to check comments here really quickly. Thanks, Ed, for joining us from Tustin. And Marie from Southern California. I don't see any questions yet, so we're going to jump over and get started to, here we go. I think I got it. I do. And we'll take down, because we already went over our goals. Perfect. So let's get started. First and foremost, everybody knows this. You want to upload a good profile photo. And with that profile photo, you here just really quickly, you can see making sure that the lighting is correct. It's a professional, non-busy outfit. So solid colors. Make sure, go ahead and have it taken by a professional. And it doesn't have to be a paid professional. It can just be somebody who's really good with photography. And I encourage you to take the time to do that. It's worth it. Your photo shows up everywhere. Comments and messages, invites, connection requests, your face and your headline are going to show up on every single one of those. And you are your brand. So you want to make sure that you're putting your best foot forward. Okay. So once we've got that, we got to upload a good cover photo. And what do we mean by a good cover photo? Well, here's a good example. We also added the size. You don't need the size if you use Canva, because Canva will just type in, help me create a LinkedIn banner, and it will automatically size it for you. But you can see here on the banner, notice that he's replicating his brand, which is himself, but he's also listing out what his business, who is he serving, and he's providing digital media marketing, web analytics, web design. He's showcasing his services and what he does. He's a digital content specialist. We'll go into headlines here in just a minute. Here's another example. Company tagline and website, simple enough. It depends on the goal, maybe what they're trying to drive traffic to their website. If that's the case, then, and images is important. When we talk about renovations, people want to see images, so they're probably driving traffic to their website. Okay. And finally, you may want to focus on your niche by adding a couple things. One, you can very specifically see niche, but two other elements I wanted to point out. You can always add an image that is what we call an authority piece. So an authority piece could be you speaking on stage, you behind a podcast microphone. It could be you, you can see here, a review from a client, 5-star review. It could be that you've published certain articles in certain news organizations, and you can put those up in your banner. All of those are available. And so this is kind of my favorite one. And I'm going to be actually improving or optimizing my profile slightly based on the research I did for this course today. All right. Now, for all of this, you can use Canva. Canva's you can do a free Canva account. And in Canva, you can have Canva help, and I'll show it to you in a second, help you create each one of these elements that we're talking today. And well, Canva and ChatGPT are the two tools that they're free that you can use to create each element. All right, so optimizing your headline. The headline next to your photo, your headline is your next most important piece. Why? Because it's your headline and your photo that are going to show up every time you comment, post, notifications, messaging, DMing. All of it is going to have the first, I think it's 60 characters, 65 characters, and your photo are going to show up no matter where you post or connect on LinkedIn. So super important. Always, instead of offering designations, because I'm going to show you where to put designations, certifications, I'll show you where to put that down below under experience. I encourage you that the most important piece at the front of the headline needs to be your value proposition. It's your unique sales proposition. What is it? Who are you helping? And what problem do you solve? So digital content specialist, digital marketer, obviously Deo's proposing that he's so special, and we'll verify this down below, because if you're going to make a claim in your headline, make sure you can back it up with the experience and also testimonials down below. But make sure whatever you offer to whatever market is listed in the first 65 characters. Then you can add other things to your headline. All right. Now let's go to LinkedIn. And I'm going to switch over on you here. I was on Deo's headline, but I just want to show you really quickly. You can see on mine, digital success for financial pros. It could be digital marketing for financial professionals. Trying to get something in the front of that headline that makes it really clear who you serve and the problem you solve. And this is by LinkedIn. Okay. Yep. And I can't go there now because I believe we are live. So I may have to stay on Deo. Nope. Oh, nope, I can't. it's showing our live. So I'm gonna have to stick with Deo's profile, and not a problem. We can do that too. All right. So he has his value proposition. We went over that. And then I could, though, go down and look at highlights. After that section, you can see his contact information. Make sure that that's fully updated so people can reach you. Super important. And then highlights, of course. Take advantage of all of the opportunities. If it's allowing you to give highlights, give highlights. If it's allowing you to list services, list services. But please, if you're a financial advisor, don't list all the products you sell. It says services for a reason. So what are your actual services? And remember, it's supposed to be a unique service. So don't put the typical things that you would think of. You're more of a coach or a consultant or a planner, speaker, public speaker. Think about those sorts of things and lead with those, because you don't want that red flag waving people away. Oh no, and it's an insurance salesman. And if you lead with that on your services, you could push people away. And the about section, of course, this is probably the most important one. And in your about section, now this one's, I see if I can show, well, I don't want to risk going over to the live, but in the about section, we're going to story brand this. And what do I mean by story branded? I talked about this earlier. You're going to create a story arc of, here is where I started helping people. And people is, what's your unique audience? Here's how I started or was inspired, or why I chose to work with this niche audience. And because they had this unique problem, and I came up with this unique solution. And here is how it is impacted each of those clients, or them in general, or what is the result been? What type of impact have you been able to make on people's lives? All right. And if you're a part of a organization or you're new, you can lean on the experience of results from other people in your current firm. All right. Now, when we story brand that again, just make sure you're telling a story about how you started, what your why was. Make sure it's directed towards your audience with a unique sales proposition and a call to action. And you could also put a call to action if you want to in your banner. Contact us today, schedule an appointment today, but make sure it's at the bottom of your about section. And most important is the hook. The hook is the first two sentences, which I don't think, see if I can scroll down. Okay, I can get it out of there we go. All right. So in your hook, I repeated some of my headline because that's my hook. And you want to get in some sort of hook that makes them want to hit that see more button, whatever that hook is. You can also go to ChatGPT and ask, what is a good hook for? And then fill in all your information, target audience, unique sales proposition, put it all in there, ask it to create a strong hook for an about section in LinkedIn. That will help you do that. I have a prompt for that as well. It'll be in the show notes at the end of the broadcast. Okay, services. I kind of jumped to services, so I'm not going to go over it again. Just make sure you're not listing products. Activities. Now, this is helpful. There's also a featured section. Mine, you can't see mine here simply because, let's see if we can see it in Dale's. I think we can. Featured. This is really important. And when we say featured, I encourage you to find something you can feature that is you presenting or sharing something that someone else showcased for you. So is it a video where somebody interviewed you? If you don't have an interview, find someone in your peer group that does do podcast interviews. They don't even have to publish the podcast. on the web if they want to, but they can create a video version of it, give it to you. You can post it as a feature. And then activity, we'll jump back to mine here. On activity, you can see it's going to show most recent posts. And it's important that you're posting on a regular basis because LinkedIn only rewards those who are engaging. And if you're not engaging on a regular basis, that's 1 to 2 times a day, minimum 1 time a day. And content for posting is a whole nother video that we'll put a link to. But with content, not if you really great post, you can post it again next week at a different day and a different time because not everybody's on LinkedIn at Tuesday at 2:00. So keep posting. But I'm going to one caveat from last week's Digital Advisor Weekly. Make sure you're commenting on other people's posts. For every post you publish, you should be commenting on one other post. If you're not one-to-one, LinkedIn is going to start not showing your posts because you're not participating in other people's posts. And if you don't have time for that, I encourage you to hire a virtual assistant. We have artificial intelligence that can represent you and help you make sure you maintain that. Okay, and then in an experience, obviously listing as much experience as possible is beneficial. Don't forget to add the experience of any sort of foundations, projects, boards, volunteer. That is experience, and you can list that in your experience. You can see I created a nonprofit, the OC Impact Project. We're launching a couple new ones, and I'm going to put these in the experience section. If you're going to claim, again, you have to back up what you say. If you say you're a philanthropist, then you need to show it down below in experience. If you say you're a military veteran, you need to make sure that you are listing it in your experience and your education. So again, always back up. I didn't mean to click that. Always back up your experience, and you can add photos to education as well. So you can put certificates. And then, of course, I said philanthropist, so I'm putting down my volunteering. It's important. People will connect with you based on common philanthropic organizations that maybe the two of you belong to. So I listed out all of the organizations that I've worked with in the past. Skills, of course, really important to not only make sure that you are soliciting, and what I mean by soliciting is offer to identify skills for other people that you know are first degree strong connections between the two of you, and then they will in kind most of the time, if they're engaged on LinkedIn, they'll come back and endorse you on skills. Same thing for recommendations. The best way to increase your recommendations is give recommendations. You may have to start with close friends and colleagues and then expand out from there. But I encourage you, find some really active members on LinkedIn, give a little, and you will get a little back. And that's always been my strategy to LinkedIn is strategic partnerships and relationships. And then interests, this is just simply going to highlight companies that I follow to show that I'm engaged. It's showing the groups that I'm in, the companies I follow, newsletters that I signed up for, schools I went to. Again, those are all connection points to create equal reciprocity or kind of common value at which you can reach out to other college graduates from your university. You can even find those who graduated your same year and send connection requests. Okay, so I've gone through all of the elements. One last thing before we wrap up. Well, actually, before I get to questions and then we wrap up, and that's going to be making sure that when you click on your profile, make sure in settings and privacy, I'm not going to go there now because I'm actually in the middle of live streaming. In your settings, make sure you have a personal link, not the one with the 9 and 10 digits behind your name or behind LinkedIn. Make sure you change it to first name, last name. It's easier for people to find you, and it also looks much more professional. Last thing that I skipped out on, and I just want to point out, is if you list your company here, make sure that they can click on that and that you have a proper business page set up. Because again, if you're claiming something, you got to back it up. Well, here's the backup. They're going to click to check to see who that you work there and who else works there with you. So you want to make sure all of these are clickable. All right. So that being said, let's quickly check on any specific questions. Okay, so yeah, so Melanie, what strategies you have found effective in receiving high quality recommendations in return? Give a high quality recommendation. So it's a good question. The more quality, and you can use ChatGPT and really personalize it so they don't think that you just, oh, they're great at this, they're great at that. Go to ChatGPT, put some really unique, specific information about them from their profile, and bring it over to ChatGPT and write in ChatGPT, can you create a strong, personalized recommendation for this person and give some personal information? So, very good question. Um, Andrew, so how often do you write recommendations for others? Until I have all the recommendations I want, I keep writing recommendations. And whoops, and recommendations, there is no limit to the recommendations you could give, but it's one of the strongest things that you can do to give to other people, and you'll make a strong impression. I'd give recommendations to anybody you've been following that you think is a good possible lead, and you've been engaging or commenting on their posts. And after a few weeks of that, I would encourage you endorsing their skills, and then eventually giving them a recommendation. Okay, optimizing skill set help boost my connection rate. Um, it very good question. Optimizing your skills is because people are going to look at your skills to, if you claim that you are a great public speaker and then they go down to your skills and nobody has voted that you are a good public speaker in skill endorsements, then they're not going to believe your claim up above. So that's why skill endorsements are important, to reinforce whatever you've claimed in your profile headline or in your banner. Okay, I'm just see if I can finish off any others. Yes, Marie Hook grabs attention. Keep it short and to the point. Very good. This is my personal VA. Thank you for the shout out. Okay, I think I've got all the major questions. There's just a lot of repeat questions. How often should I update my profile? Sheila, that's actually really good too. You need to update your profile every time you change your target market or you change your unique sales proposition or service. And if you change any of that, you need to make sure that your profile reflects those changes. I'd take a good look at your profile, every 3 or 4 months to see what you can do to improve it. Also, LinkedIn comes out with new features. Take the suggestions it gives you. So up here, okay, show recruiters you're open to work. No, I don't want to do that. No, I don't want to share that I'm hiring. You can see there are suggestions here, and I would encourage you to take advantage of all the suggestions that LinkedIn gives you. Okay. I think I've got one last one. Okay, so what if you do not have formal attire photo, but I have high resolution photo? Yes, there are Chat GPT, or whether there's AI apps all over the place where you can put in a high resolution just photo from anywhere, and then use Canva to eliminate the background. And then there are AI tools that will change your outfit. So very good point. And Marie, uh, that's your assignment. Go find a couple of those and add them as some of those AI tools, and then add them to either the show notes or the questions down below. And last one, okay, so how about avatar? as a profile image. No, 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 don't ever use an avatar. You are your brand. But good question. And people do it all the time, and I get it. But I would only do it if you're not worried about getting leads from LinkedIn. Because if you're just on LinkedIn for networking and you're not really trying to create sales, maybe it's okay. If you're in the Secret Service and you don't want to publicize it, maybe you need to use an avatar. I don't know. But people tend to distrust profiles without a profile that is of your actual face. It's getting to the point, because of avatars, that LinkedIn is now trying to get everybody to verify their identity by using Clear, where you have to go to this third-party organization, submit your driver's license, then they take a photo, video of your face, and then they verify that it's you, and then you get a verified stamp on your profile. If you want to do that, great, go ahead. Probably LinkedIn will give you some extra advantages for that. I'm personally not into the giving my thumbprints, retina scans and face scans and photo IDs to a third-party app. I just don't trust it. So that being said, but that's that verify now button there. If you want to do that, I choose not to. Just protecting privacy data. And I think that's pretty much it. And I've finished all of the questions. You guys are amazing. And thanks for all of the great questions. If you found this valuable, join us each week. Go to digitaladvisorweekly.com, and or if you're on YouTube, just hit the subscribe button and you can join us for each week's episode, where we give away free content to help you enhance your digital marketing efforts so that you can put more calendars on your more calendars. Boy, tongue twisted today. More appointments on your calendar at which you can turn into sales. So if you like this episode, hit the like button, share, and subscribe, and we'll see you next week. Digital Advisor Weekly.